How's it going, guys, and welcome back to the Tazer podcast, where today we have been invaded by the Australians.
What a way to start a podcast. We've been invaded by the Australians.
I'm going to introduce the guys we've got here. We have Ben on from GivesAMinute.
G'day, folks. Thanks for having me, Nathan. Nice to meet you too, Lucas.
Yeah, nice to meet you. Yeah.
And we also have Luke from Lukie MC.
Hey, going.
Brilliant.
Now, that's Lukie, all right?
I didn't even read that.
So I wanted to start off because I know that some of my audience probably don't know who you guys are. So I thought if you guys could explain a bit about what you do on YouTube and who you are, that'd be a really good way of starting. So who wants to start?
Lukie can take it.
All right, so I'm what? So I'd probably say I'm a quite new urban explorer, or urbex as we call each other. I've been doing it for about 5 months, videoing it anyway. I've been doing it for ever since I drove, but I started videoing about 5 months ago, and I started finding some pretty cool spots, met some people, found even more spots, then put some videos out. One went viral, and now I've taken off, and here I am looking pretty high up, and people starting to recognize me around the place. It's pretty amazing.
And you're on one of the best podcasts in the UK as well right now. Yeah.
Is he on another podcast as well then?
Well, I swear every single podcast seems to call themselves the best podcast in the world. So we might as well get on that bandwagon.
Okay, yeah. Welcome to Tazer Podcast, the best podcast in the world. But, you know, the specific video that went viral, in case you guys, I mean, you probably know the video itself. You might not know that Luke is actually the creator behind that. And that was Rosie the Shark, which is a huge video, like 12 million views now, is it?
Yeah, it hit 12 million, I think, yesterday.
That's crazy. Absolutely crazy, man.
Amazing.
And then give us a minute, so Ben on.
Yeah, my channel's called GivesAMinute. I've been on YouTube for about 3 years. Nothing to do with urbexing at all. I've never really explored an abandoned building intentionally. I might have gone in somewhere and it might have been abandoned without me knowing. But my channel is loosely based around my work as a photographer, but I'm kind of transmorphed it into a review channel for snorkel masks. Unexpectedly, I had a video that sort of popped, and now I'm doing many reviews on snorkel masks. I'm kind of the snorkel mask guy inadvertently.
So actually, I wanted to ask you, because you've got quite a unique structure to your channel as well, because where did the whole 4-minute thing come from?
So the idea with the 4-minute daily vlog is that I wanted to do daily content, but I had seen so many people before me start a daily vlog and then invariably wrap it up within a few months, because generally it becomes too difficult and too much work, and it becomes too taxing, and you lose out on your life, and you lose your family, and all the negative things that go with daily vlogging. So I knew that I wanted to do a daily vlog, but I wanted to somehow do one that didn't require anywhere near that amount of commitment or that amount of work. And I figured, why not do a 4-minute recording of my day every day, 4 minutes after the day before, and don't have any editing, don't have any music overdubs, don't do anything except hit record and talk for 4 minutes about whatever it is I happen to be doing at that time, and then snap that right off on the 4-minute or 3-minute 59-second mark and upload that to YouTube as my daily vlog. Now, that's a lazy way to do a daily vlog. So I also do my regular content, which is my fully edited and produced videos plus live streaming. But that was how that 4-minute vlog was born, if you like.
So I think that is a good thing, because it does make you stand out. Because I have to admit, the first time I watched one of the videos and it just stopped, I was like, hey, what? It really surprised me, but it did make you, I remembered it because of that.
A lot of people say to me, why did you just cut that off? Like, why didn't you talk till you finish the point? It's like, well, if you look in the description, it explains it, and I'll come back tomorrow, and if it's a really important point, I'll continue on my train of thought for the next 4 minutes. But typically, I try to squeeze in whatever I can within 4 minutes. It's terrible for the AdSense, because, you know, we've got to push the videos to the 10-minute mark, but it is what it is. Yeah. I've been doing it for 3 years now, or this is my 3rd year of daily vlogging.
That's a really cool idea.
It is a very unique idea. That was, like I said, that was what stuck with me when I first watched that. 'Cause I was like, oh, that's a very different way of doing it. And no one's not seen anyone else doing that. But yeah, very cool. So the reason that I've invited, obviously, both of you on here is I was going to invite Lukie anyway because of the whole Rosie the Shark thing. I wanted to kind of talk and find out his side of that. But also, Benon, you did a live stream based on Are YouTubers Responsible? And you talked sort of directly on the point of Rosie the Shark and how a lot of the people who have seen the video have then gone and vandalised the place and damaged the tank and things. And I'll get on to obviously what's happened since then later on. But you've touched on quite a few good points in that I want to discuss, and I thought it'd be good to get you two together to discuss those points.
Sure, that sounds great. Let's just put the record straight though. Lukie and I do know each other from this big brown land of Australia, so we're not. Just in case the audience didn't know that, we do know each other.
Yeah, no, I didn't know that either till I got on the call. I was like, "Do you guys know each other? You're very friendly with each other."
I just thought that most Australians just know each other anyway. Like,
okay, hold the racism, please.
He's my neighbour. You know, we both live in Australia. We must know each other.
Exactly.
So. First of all, I think the good place to start is basically where you talked about in your live stream. Like, if you could recap a few points that you said in that.
Sure. So what I really wanted to do with that live stream was to raise the question to the audience: where does the responsibility lie when someone urbexes or urban explores and they create a scene or they create a vibe or a what would be the right word for Rosie? They've created a scenario that wasn't there before they actually put their video out. Where does their responsibility lie? Whether the responsibility is positive or negative, where does that sort of fall? Now, in the instance with Rosie, you cannot deny that the exposure from the urbex community has resulted in Rosie being saved, if you like. So there's been a great positive outcome, but along the way there was also a lot of negative aspects to it. So there was, as you mentioned, vandals trashing the joint, smashing formaldehyde falling out everywhere, cops called, neighbors getting completely annoyed. So that whole scenario raised in my mind, what if it didn't turn out good? Would all of this resulting fame, if you like, would that have all been negative? Because, and this is where Lukie can obviously jump in because he's the result. He results in gaining from this, as do others. We've seen others jump on that wave, but it's if it didn't go positive, would we be still all happy? And would there still be a good Rosie outcome or a good story to tell, or would it just be, these twats went in and smashed everything, and it's because that other guy went in before them? That shark had sat there for 20 years without anyone bothering it. So that, and I just want to be clear, I don't have a dead set opinion of my own, but I have every right to ask that question amongst my audience.
Absolutely. And I get asked this question so much because obviously I do urbex as well, and it's something we get asked so much about is like, you know, did your video directly affect this getting trashed afterwards or getting robbed afterwards? So it's definitely something that's in the community. So I don't know, Lukie, did you want to comment on that?
Yeah, well, it kind of, as he said, in reality, if I'm the reason why the shark was found out, as much as some people will disbelieve that, but I don't really care. I know the facts. And if I didn't bring up the shark to the attention that I did, it'd still be sitting there as we speak. Slowly but surely, the tank will be getting lower and lower, and either way, it was going to end up probably destroyed. So even if it did end up getting found by someone else and they put a video up and then that got destroyed that way, or the owners of the park just decided finally to get rid of it because they didn't give two craps about the whole place, it was either way, it was going to get destroyed, in my opinion. And, you know, after all the video went viral and I made all the views and my YouTube channel went viral from it, whatever, I could have sat back and just relaxed and not worried about it. I could have just let it go, but I didn't. I actually bothered. I tried. I spoke to a lot of people. I gave help. I actually drove down there heaps of times. I went there for the news reports. I put my 2 cents in. I tried to tell people to stop going there. I put up shared posts all over the internet to tell people to go away. But in reality, there are the very small IQ people out there that just can't. they can't resist the temptation to be stupid and immature. So, it's like the whole cracks in the side of the tank. If that broke open and they got covered in the formaldehyde, they'd be dead. They'd be riddled with cancer or whatever. It wouldn't have been good for them, put it that way. From what I was told is even if you get touched by that stuff, you will end up in hospital and very, very, very sick. So, in reality, we can't help those pretty stupid, low IQ'd people. I'm trying to say it without calling them swear words.
Yeah, that's fine. You can swear, by the way. It's not a problem. But you bring up a good point, though, because a lot of the things that I have to deal with when it comes to going to Urbex is people assume that because you made your video, that's the reason that something got out there in the first place. But as you probably know with Urbex, a lot of these places, you might find out about them, but then 10 other people know about it too. You just managed to get there first.
Isn't the
even then?
Sorry, I was just going to say, isn't the whole point of Urbex, like you going out there to try and find something extraordinary or something different? That's why I enjoy doing it, because you don't know what you're going to find anyway. And when you do find something, that's the exciting part, and that's why the video gets loads of views.
What the people don't realise is that there's numerous people out there. So even if you decided, no, I'm not going to show this place, somebody else would pick it up and it would still gain traction, regardless of whether you made a video on it or not. So it might take a little bit longer, but at some point, like you said, it's either going to get found by someone else or the people who owned it. Because, I mean, let's be honest, no one cared about the shark until you actually made a video on it. So the chances of that place getting destroyed and wrecked by the owners because they don't care about it is probably quite likely. It was only because it got traction with your video that it actually got moved in the end.
Oh, the other thing as well, my video, if you watched it, I'm not the first person that had been in there. It had been trashed. There was stuff missing. There were windows smashed. So I was definitely not the first person in there. I was just the first person to finally put a video up. And I've got well and truly over 50 videos sitting here waiting to go out. And in reality, maybe half to a quarter of my videos I have, nobody else has. And when I release them, I don't tell people where they are. I don't show the road and try and show locations, because in reality, I don't want other people to have the location. If I find something myself, I'm keeping it for myself. So that if people think that I'm trying to share locations and give out stuff, they're completely wrong, because it's not what I'm about. And I don't take stuff. I don't ask people to take stuff. I don't tell people to come down here and graffiti it. If anything, I've actually been to a couple of places now where I've caught people doing graffiti and throwing stuff and smashing stuff around. And I've told them in some explicit words to leave, please. And if you don't, I'll drag you out by your teeth or whatever. So, I can't handle the scum. They shits me up the wall. They just, they piss me off.
I think everything Lukie's just said then hits back to my point as well. The responsibility, it can go either way. Like, Lukie's obviously a dead set decent human. He's obviously got his head screwed on, and he's got the right thought pattern and he's got the right mindset to do urban exploring. And so when the responsibility came his way, he took the right path with it, and he went and helped out. Like he said, he went and did all the news reports, and he sat there and talked to everybody. And what I'm getting at is he didn't just grab the views and run and then dust his hands of it, if you like, no matter what happens. So from someone outside your community, like you guys within that Urbex community, me being completely on the outside, when I see that, I get a smile and I think, well, this has all worked out well. But the cynic in me also sees the other side where, what if something really nasty happened, and like Lukie said, someone did get super sick from the formaldehyde or whatever it was, maybe the glass smashed or something, and someone, went ass up and cut themselves pretty badly. Would that person then have to take them to the hospital and sit with them and call their parents and all, where does that responsibility lie?
So I think this is the point, though, isn't it? That when you go somewhere, say for example, Lukie took someone with him and they got hurt, then I'd say yes, that was his responsibility. But in terms of people going afterwards, you can't really put that on someone who's been before. It needs to be like every individual's own like temperament, whether they're going to go there and smash things, whether they're going to go there and treat the place with respect. I think it's an individual decision as to what you're going to act, how you're going to act at a place. So you can't again put that on the person. Yes, Luke's video did bring like notice to the place, but at the same time, it's an individual decision as to how you're going to act at a place.
And Lukie, if you've done your utmost to actually conceal that location yourself, and you haven't spread the word, then it's nothing. You know, it's you're kind of in the clear if anything happens. Really, I mean, it's not nothing.
Well, there's two or three other videos after mine when it went viral that people noticed. I'm not going to give out any names, but I'm pretty sure most of us in this party know. But yeah, well, like they release the videos on it and people go out and spread the name on it. Like, oh, here we go. Let's come straight to where we are. And okay, once the news had got play of it and started sharing it out there was no point in trying to hide it anymore because everybody knew where it was from the news. But, when I originally had released it, people were asking me left, right, and centre, where is it? And it's like, if you don't know where it is, then you're never going to go, because in reality, I'm never going to tell you. I don't give locations to people that I don't know. I'll share it with some, and I'll share it with people that I think are worth sharing with.
I think this is an issue as well, because when videos go viral like this, a lot of people get confused about the information you gave out and the information that the news gives out. Because it tends to be something that when the news get hold of it, they give out every detail under the sun. They'll say exactly where it is, what the place is called, every detail they can. Whereas us on YouTube don't tend to do that, but because they are highlighting your video, people automatically assume they got that information from you, or you gave out the information in your original video, and they don't tend to do the research and just double check.
I was going to say on that point, I think the newscasters, they don't have anyone to really answer to in regards to, like, they're not getting hate comments in their comments field on YouTube, so they don't really.
In reality, they don't give a shit either. They're only after the money and the fame. They don't care about how the outcome is either.
Yeah, exactly. Well, they're after your views in a way. You've got a viral video. Oh, news will get on it. Maybe we'll get some traction from this as well. That's all it is, really, isn't it?
It's exactly that. To be honest, it is exactly that, because they are there to get a story, to get their clicks on their website or their their article, whatever. They're there to cover it. They don't care about. They are literally the worst. They kind of go there, get the views, and then cut and run, like you said. Whereas you obviously stuck around and you made sure that you saw everything else through to the end.
Yep, it was a pretty tiring 2 months, because that's how long it pretty much lasted for, and it's only the last week, pretty much, that I've actually been able to sleep longer than 6 hours and be able to breathe again without having a thing about, you're the shark guy. Yes, yeah.
So that leads me on to the next point quite nicely, actually, because I was going to ask about the reaction to the video itself. Like, how's that been? Because obviously it went proper viral. So how have people reacted to it?
Is the shark alive?
Yeah, that was the one big one. Is the shark real? And it's like, seriously. And then it went from is the shark real to, where is it? And it's like, it's in Australia. Yeah, where in Australia? I don't know. Why don't you have a look? Google map it or something, mate. Like, I'm not helping you there. And then it was that to hating comments, and then people saying that my voice sounds stupid and you can't talk properly and your microphone's crap. And it's like, if you actually realize this video that you're watching is my third ever video I'd ever done in my entire life, and I don't know how to even take a photo, and let alone one of my photos in there was meant to be amazing, and I thought it was garbage, the whole video. What do you want me to say? It's $100 old GoPro that I've filmed on. Now I'm doing it on a Hero 7. I've got a Nikon digital camera with a 10-24mm lens on it and stuff. I've got a MacBook, a new computer and everything to do all this stuff. So it's like, back off a bit. It's my third video. I'm not going to be a pro, mate. Like, chill out.
I think on YouTube a lot of people as well, because again the same thing happened with Neil, who's the abandoned explorer. He's actually got currently, well, unless yours takes over, he's got currently the most viewed Urbex video on YouTube. And again, a lot of people just focus on the fact that he filmed on a potato. And it's like, you don't start out thinking, I'm going to make millions of views on this video. You just start out just exploring because you enjoy it.
My whole thing, and I've told a lot of people this, but I'm not afraid to say it, but like, I'm a depression and anxiety sufferer. So this was a step for me to do something I actually enjoy doing and not worry about it being a bad thing, something that that I like as a hobby. So I'm like, bugger it, let's pick up a camera and try it and see what happens. So I met a few people in Melbourne that are urban explorers, and they said, oh, it's really hard. They've been doing it for 3 years and it's, you know, they haven't really got very far, rah, rah, rah. And I was like, yeah, that's fine. I don't care. I'll give it a shot anyway. It's all for the fun. Meet new people, get to explore, and maybe make something out of it later on down the track. And then, month and a half later, I'd hit 1,000 subscribers. Then all of a sudden I'm at 10, 20, 30, 40. And now I'm nearly at 70. And it's like, I don't even know how it happened.
It's a whirlwind. Absolutely crazy.
I don't even know how it happened.
What's weird, what I've noticed is whenever I get a video that does well, people start taking you way, way more seriously. When they click on a video that's already got, say, like 200,000 views, they start like getting in the comments. They'll type something totally different to what they'd type, say, if the video got like 1,000 views or something. And I think that's where it starts to like get a bit crazy. Like, oh my god, you know, this is serious now. Like
your expectation.
Expectations like starts to become slightly more serious, I guess. Kind of puts more pressure on.
I was about to say, do you think the video that's gone viral has that added more pressure to your future videos?
Nah, I don't think so. Like, in reality, if subscribers leave, I don't really care, because I didn't make a YouTube channel about Rosie the Shark, that's for sure. And my YouTube channel will never just be about bloody Rosie the Shark, because in reality, it is a shark in a tank that is dead and it won't go anywhere else now. I might do one more video on it when it's finally filled up, and I still speak to the owner of the new place that she's gone to, but yeah, but it's people. I've got my regulars on there, and they, I put up a video. Yes. What's today? Thursday. Yeah, yesterday morning I did one of a mental asylum that used to exist back in the older days, and it's creepy and haunted as anything. And I spoke to the owner of it and asked him if I could do a private tour without people around and do a video of it. And he was like, oh yeah, look, we have you guys come in all the time. Yeah, look, it's going to be $450. And then after I spoke to him a little bit more, I told him who I was, and he figured out it was, I was the Rosie dude, and he was like, oh my God, yeah, let's do it. Oh. And so I was like, sick, let's go. And yeah, I got everything that he had a key that opened the door there. I went in, I saw the whole place. I was in the roof cavity and everything. He let me go wherever I wanted, and that was really, really cool. And like, the whole good thing for me now is that I've got that shark behind me, so it's opened
a few doors.
Yeah, I've got that step now where I can be like, hey, look, it's me. I want to do this. Oh, wow, come in, please. So, yeah, it's helped me out. The security guard, I got caught the other day, and a security guard knew who I was, and he was just like, oh, I didn't tell you to keep going, but keep going. So I was like, oh, okay, sweet.
There has been links, just going back to that, to the whole, now you've got that one big viral video, and, you can keep posting more now, and it's a good thing because you can snowball off that video, like you just said. But there's been, like, this is kind of going off on a slight tangent, but some YouTubers have been saying that once they've blown up on YouTube, it actually causes things like anxiety and depression and things, because they feel they need to get a video out sooner, or on a particular day, or they have to keep that grind going, or else it's all going to crumble.
Well, that's why I have all the backlogs of videos I've got. Right. I don't work at the moment, so for me it doesn't really matter. I'm currently unable to work, so for me it's okay. And like I said, I think I've got 74 videos sitting there waiting to go out. So in reality, I could sit here for a year and not touch a GoPro and have videos come out every week.
That's a great position to be in. That's brilliant.
I think it's like same for Benon. Like, he knows what his channel needs, and he knows what he's doing. And in reality, if he keeps up with what he's doing, he knows the repetitiveness of what he needs to do to keep his channel going. Fine. And that's the same for me. Like, I know a couple of YouTubers out there that I watch and that I know of that have channels, and they just literally go out and film that video, and that night it's released and it's straight out on the line, and they edit the absolute junk out of their videos as well. And my videos are literally maybe 5 to 10% editing, and the rest is just raw footage. I don't edit nothing. I just don't see the point.
I guess that's the positive thing about Urbex, in my opinion. Now I've tried, because I used to post Urbex videos and stuff. Now I've transferred over to the kind of what you call it, like a news channel, I guess, like celebrity news, YouTube news, whatever. And when I get a video, I literally have to write it all up, film it, and put it out like as soon as I can while it's still trending, and then I've got nothing after that. Like, and it just kind of, I never know when my next video is going to be out, just because it's like I don't know what's going to be like trending on Twitter or whatever, and it's like like that can be a bit scary. But I mean, I'm at uni, so
that'd be too much for me. That's why I like what I'm doing. I've got videos sitting there that I don't have to, like, even if people have the same video out 10 different times, mine will be a completely different video to theirs because I don't edit it. I don't try and talk myself up in it. I don't put my face in the video for the whole half of the video. I'm not interested in talking to the camera. You're not there to watch my face. You're there to watch the video.
Yeah, that's quite a good point, because I get that quite often. Like, that's one of the things I find with so-called haters. They tend to be like, "Why is your face in the video? Why are you showing yourself? We don't want to see you." It's a common thing, but like, I think it's finding that nice balance, isn't it, between the two? Because like, yes, people want to see that, but also in terms of the YouTube, you need to be a personality as well. So I think that's why I wanted to invite you onto the podcast, because I think, yes, everyone knows about Rosie the Shark, but not many people know about Lukie.
Yeah. And I think the other thing as well for me that's made it really good for me is I've been there and I've watched other people's videos. I've seen how other urban explorers around the world do their videos. Like, I did originally start watching Exploring with Josh. And his videos are getting a bit cringeworthy in my opinion, but whatever. I watched my
Exploring with Fighters. Sorry, no, that was a little dig.
I don't know if you guys have heard of RNK All Day. He's an American guy.
Yeah.
He's the one that I love watching his videos. He's raw. He's down to earth. He's not a loser. I actually have spoken to him directly a few times, which is nice. Even before I became a YouTuber myself, he actually responded to me and talked to me, and it made me feel like that's what I want to see when if I'm watching kind of like something about someone. Not only that, but like if I'm watching your videos and I'm telling you I love your stuff and I'm buying your merchandise, even if I say, "Hey man, great video, love your stuff," and even a heart or a thanks, it helps. So, people commenting on my video of the shark saying 12 million views, and the guy sat there and commented and replied to pretty much everything. Well, yeah, I did, because I feel like you guys are my audience and you guys are what have made me become who I am. So why shouldn't I do that? At least give a minute. Give a minute to help out a bit, like to return a favour.
To be fair, actually, that's something I was going to say, because Benon is actually incredibly good at like keeping up with comments. I've noticed that so much, because that was something else that when I first started like commenting on your videos, you were like answering every comment. I was like, my God.
As Lukie was just saying that, I was thinking this is exactly hammering my point, the responsibility of the creator. Lukie's dead right. These people that watched his video to the tune of 12 million views and 70-odd thousand subscribers, they're the people that he has to interact with. And so replying to a comment takes you all of 10 seconds if you're lucky. Maybe it's a longer comment, you got to address something else. But if you can spend me personally, I spend the first hour and a half of my day in bed, in my pajamas, answering comments, because, hey, I put the video out, and if someone wants to interact on that video, then it's a two-way street here. It's not a one-way, the video's there and you can't comment. This is back and forth. That's the relationship I have with my audience, and it's really good to hear Lukie speak that way about his 12 million views on that video. The other thing that when Lukie was talking, I was just listening. The response that he got from his audience, the common questions, what's the deal with the shark? Who is it? Where's it from? Yada yada yada. I got a complete, not opposite, but a mixed bag just from running my live stream, where I posed the question of where does the responsibility lie. I got such a polarizing response. I got people digging at me for asking the question, who the hell are you? Go back to doing go back to your snorkel mask, go back to doing your daily vlogs. Who don't ask this question? It's like, well, hang on. Aren't we on a platform here which encourages engagement and good, hearty conversation? Why can't I put the question forward? An interesting community in YouTube that want to shut you down just for asking a question or having a differing opinion.
Yeah, definitely. I've faced that on my channel because I'm a commentary channel, and again, I've got just under 10,000 subscribers, and some people, I can make a comment, I can make a video on something, and it'll get a lot of views, but then people are still always going to say that, hey, like you can't say that. What gives you the right to say that? And I've seen that from a subscriber point of view as well. I think the more subscribers you've got, the more people take you more seriously, which I think is, I don't know, right and wrong really. I can see two aspects to it, but
Lucas, how dare you make that point? Seriously.
God damn it! Sorry.
Even like you guys wouldn't have heard of it, I don't think, in the UK, but I don't know if Benon's heard of it either. But they in Melbourne just recently, yesterday, a special exhibition started up called Roan Empire, and it's a Melbourne-based graffiti artist.
Yeah.
And there's a house. It's not far from mine either. It's only like a 15-minute drive. A big old mansion that's been abandoned for about 40 years. And he's gone in there and he's actually made it look really decayed and rough, put tables in there and like made them look all dusty and covered in spider webs. And he's done all these pictures all over the walls and stuff. I put a photo up yesterday on Instagram of it. I did a video of that and that'll go up next Wednesday for my midweek specials because I put one of them out whenever I've got one. So I do a midweek special that's not related to Urbex in reality. So this is sort of an Urbex video, but not. So I'm doing it as a midweek special. I spoke to the guy that runs the thing and I messaged him prior to going there saying, look, do you mind if I do videoing of it and put up pictures and stuff on my Instagram, my YouTube? And he's like, oh yeah, that's fine, man. Thank you so much for asking before you even do so. You're one of very few people that would do that. Most people wouldn't even ask. They just do it anyway and not care.
Yeah, I was just going to quickly say, why did he do it? Like, it's kind of an obvious question, I guess. Why did he kit the place out himself? Like, I've never heard that done before. It's kind of
that's his thing. He's a really famous Melbourne-based graffiti artist. It's actually it's not just a if you Google it later, Roan Empire, and he literally has sold out tickets for 2 months to go and see it because it's that amazing.
Oh, so it's kind of like an art installation then.
Yeah, I think the key word there that might be. Yeah, it's not really graffiti. It's more it's almost like fine art on a decaying wall.
Yeah.
That's interesting. That's cool.
The way he does it is unbelievable. It took it took me and the friend that I went with yesterday, it took our breath away. It was just so amazing. And like, I spoke to that bloke yesterday when we left and I just shook his hand and said, amazing job. You've done amazing stuff. And then I was like talking to my partner when I got home after it. And I'm like, all the fans that I've had that have spoken to me on Instagram as well, because my Instagram grew pretty fast too. And there's been a couple that have lived nearby me and they've like, I'd love to go out and explore with you and meet you. And this one guy was really, really nice about it. And he wasn't like, didn't make me feel like he was like a stalker or anything. So I had a chat with him and he really wanted to meet up and he lived a suburb over from me. So I'm like, bugger it, mate. Let's do it. If you're a weirdo, I just walk away. If you're not, I'll sit and have a chat with you. And he liked it and he really, really appreciated it. And I feel like doing that helps the base of your channel. Like I said, RNK all day, I watch him. He talks to people. He responds to emails and people's comments and stuff. That's going to make people look at your channel when they go to watch your video and go, oh, his videos are pretty cool. Wow, he's responding to people. He seems really cool. His videos are doing extremely well. This is someone I need to watch. And like now that I'm at where I am now, I may as well make the most of it and try and get myself to do it the way I am. I'm planning on going overseas now and doing videos.
I think a lot of people, naming no names, exploring fires, forget that their channels aren't just a channel. It's also a community as well. And it's somewhere that people want to come and interact with you, want to like spend time watching videos, talking to you in comments and stuff. It's not just about I'm famous, watch me. It's the whole community base is very important. I think a lot of people forget that.
I think the best thing for me is the last thing I think of is I'm famous. That's do not even think of that ever. Like I went to the shopping centre today that's local to me and it's like a big shopping centre and I'm walking around and this lady was staring at me and I'm like, what are you staring at? And I'm sort of like, what on earth is she looking at? And I've walked off and I'm like, oh, hang on, YouTube. And I'm thinking she's just staring at me because maybe I had like pie on my face or something. Thinking, what the hell are you looking at? And then it's like I just don't trigger the fact that, yeah, look, I've had 12 million people watch my video and seen me on the news and stuff. And maybe she's like, oh, I've seen him on the news. And it's just like, it's a bit surreal, but I don't want the fame. That's why my face isn't on all my videos. I just want people to enjoy it.
I've read something the other day online where apparently 50% of people in the world want to be famous, and the other 50% don't really, they're not bothered about the idea. And I think I can see it on YouTube, and particularly in the Urbex community as well. Like you said, like you don't show your face. You just said like you're not too bothered about like fame or whatever. But some people, not going to name any names, but some people do like that kind of, even I'll admit, even myself, like I like posting things to YouTube. I like showing my face on YouTube. If someone recognizes me, it's like great, it's awesome. But I mean,
and I still feel the same way too. I don't mind if someone recognizes me and be like, "Oh, Luke, I've seen your YouTube, Lukie Mac, from Australia." Rah. That's fine, but I'm not going to go out of my way to turn my camera around and show people who I am. I do live feeds once a month, sort of around that, if I can get one. And when I do a live feed, you'll see my face on the camera. Like there's nothing else to it. Like, yeah, I just don't see the point why I need to show who I am. If I'm going to go that far, I may as well tell people where I live and my suburb and my personal Facebook account and my phone number, and get a Snapchat account as well and start Snapchatting my face and when I go for a poo and everything. Like, I'm not interested. Like, holy crap.
Oh, so bringing back to the kind of the main point we were talking about in the first place, what do you think can be done by Urbexes to prevent people going to these sites afterwards, and going and damaging them? Do you think there's anything that in particular that people could be doing better? Is there anything that you think you personally could be doing better, or what?
I don't know. What do you reckon, Ben? What do you see out of being someone that doesn't do that?
Yeah, sure. The obvious one would be definitely don't give out locations. That's don't even say the name of the thing. Like if you're in like a wildlife park, don't call it a wildlife park, because people are going to straight away Google Victorian Wildlife Park abandoned. So if you call it something entirely different, like I don't know, refuge center or something that's completely opposite of what you'd think. Maybe you've got to
agree.
Like maybe there's got to be some kind of code or an unspoken word amongst the community where it's like, okay, we're going to opposite everything from now on in. Like a mansion's going to be called a paddock, for instance, and you're going to it's going to be unspoken of, but everyone who does it is going to know that, that's that place. Yeah, of course, yeah.
That's
but
that huge abandoned paddock.
Yeah. Yeah, but at least throw the scent off, if you like.
For you guys in the UK, for you doing like old mansions and stuff, a lot of the mansions are named. They have a name.
Yeah.
So for me, I had a house that I did in Sydney near Benon, and I was doing this house and it had a name, and the house was the most creepiest thing I've ever seen in my life, and like just an amazing setup. And when I went to see this place, I'm trying so hard not to say the name of the place and put the name out there. And in reality, you've got to try so hard to try not to show anything that does. But there are times where you do a video of something where you're just not going to be able to cover it up. Like I've got a couple of hospital videos waiting to go up. And, if I try and cover up the name of the hospital, I may as well not put the video out, because it's just like every 50 centimetres I move, there's a bloody name of the hospital. So I just hold on to it till the hospital's gone, and then I don't have to worry about it.
A good example of that in the UK is, you'll know this, obviously, Nathan, is Denbigh Insane Asylum, psychiatric hospital, whatever. Everyone knows about that. It's almost like a bit of a meme now in the Urbex community, Denbigh, like everyone has been there, everyone knows about it, and it's just kind of turned into an absolute mess. It's been burnt down, it's been, it's what happens, really, I guess, when the name gets out. It sucks, really, but... See,
some people do make up names, and it does work. It is a good way of doing things. Like I recently did an abandoned house that had a ton of sex toys and stuff in it, and I called it the House of Kink. But the thing is, it is a good way of hiding the location. The only time I ever give out like the name of the location is once a place has been demolished or torn down. For example, I did... was it a hotel called the South Marston Hotel, and for ages it was just on my channel as Abandoned Leisure Hotel, but then once it was demolished, I changed the name to South Marston Hotel because it's more searchable on YouTube, and it doesn't matter because if people find it, it's not there anymore, so you can't do anything to it.
I did a motel hotel the other week as well, and like it's not abandoned as such. It's been converted into a new old motel / hotel apartment building. So like the main frontage of it, like the old sort of layout of the building that's actually classed as heritage listed, is going to stay. But the rest of it out the back is all getting knocked down. So it used to be a nightclub pub as such. So it had a pub and a nightclub in it. So there's a big wooden fence around it. It's got cameras and lights all over it and alarm systems. But there was someone in the car park and they were inside and the door was open. So I just was like, bugger it, I'm a pretty keen guy. I don't care if you tell me to F off, I'll leave, whatever. So I walked in there and I just turned around and said to the lady, do you know much about the place? She said, oh, yeah, call this guy. And I called him and he was, yeah, mate, go ahead. Do a video of it if you want. Yeah, that'll be great so we can see what it looked like before it got knocked down. So for that place, I'll put it up and I'll put down what it was called, because by the time that video is going to come out, it's going to be not the same place anymore. It'll be completely different. And it's heavy security on it anyway. So if you're stupid enough to go in there, then so be it, mate. Go ahead.
I think a lot of it is just down to common sense, isn't it? I think, like I said, it's a personal decision how you're going to act in a certain place, or how you're going to respect the place or not. It comes down to character. It's nothing to do with urbex and urban exploring itself being bad. It's about who's doing the video and who's making decisions as to how they portray the video. And again, I think when a video goes viral like yours did and blows up, people they see urban exploring as this like bad thing. Because you gave out the location, but again, it might be the news or someone else. It's I don't know. It's a hard one, because I know that as an urban explorer, I always want to try and do my best, but sometimes my best isn't good enough.
Yeah, but it never will be to other people, so you never worry about that. And it's like people kept saying to me, oh, don't let the haters bring you down. And I'm like, they won't bring me down. If anything, I'll meet them out the front and I'll smack their heads in. Like, if you want to hate at me and you want to start calling me names on the internet, mate, it just shows how smart you are and how dumb your IQ is. And just like, mate, I'm not. It's like playing Xbox. I love my Xbox, and you get on there and you get 10-year-old kids from America calling you an effing pedophile and stuff like that. And it's like, seriously, dude, if my mum heard you spoke like that, she'd smack the shit out of you. Like, I don't know who you're talking to. Like, and they're everywhere. There's just the little haters, mate. That's what they're like. They've got nothing better to do. They'll sit at home in front of their computer eating their salt and vinegar chips and drinking their Diet Coke, thinking that they're pretty hardcore. So go ahead.
Oh man, salt and vinegar chips.
Let me pitch a scenario at you. What would be your response, and Lucas and Nathan, what would be your guys' response if you made a video similar to the Rosie saga and it went viral, but the response from the owners or the previous owners or anyone associated with the thing, if their response was extremely negative, what would you guys do?
Well, they did give me an extremely negative response to people that own the park.
Oh, really? Initially, it was a negative.
For the 9 News report, when I did the face-to-face report with the reporter, I pulled up in my car and there was probably 30 people standing out the front of it that lived around the area that were very unhappy with the video being the way it was. Oh. And they came up and they were all like, oh, how dare you? And then the owner, I walked 2 steps into the place and the owner's son-in-law or whatever, he told me I don't have any right to be here and you've stuffed everything up. And I'm like, no, mate, in reality, you let the park get abandoned. You own this whole big block and all you wanted to do is build a big, stupid, try not to swear again, servo. And you're not interested in the shitty little wildlife park on the side because it's not worth anything to you. So if it's not worth anything to you, why not bulldoze it so it doesn't cause a safety hazard? So in reality, the only person you've got to blame is yourself. And in reality, if you didn't want people in it either, all you had to do is come and cut the lawn and fix the windows and make it look like it's lived in. If people don't see something that looks abandoned, people don't come for it. There's nothing else to it.
I mean, I'm confused. I'm confused as to why they get pissed off because I mean they left. I mean I don't get why they left. I mean it's probably written on, like, you might even know about this, but I'm confused as to why they left the shark there in the first place. Obviously, they closed down. Did the park close down because they went against some kind of law, wildlife act or something?
Yeah, and I had a lady message me that reckons she was the old owner's daughter, and she said I'm wrong with what I said, and I told her what I thought, and she never responded to it. So I know I was right then. But yeah, I was told, and I found out information that it was they didn't renew their animal handling lease, and that was it. And it was a free lease. It didn't even cost money to do, but they never did it. And they got the animals taken off them, but the shark never got moved because it was going to cost, I think, 40-50 grand to move it, which is how much it ended up costing. So it was too expensive to do. So it just never happened.
I did not know that to that story. The way it came across was that everyone was happy that you were there doing it. So here's another example. Yeah, well, here's another example to our point of this entire podcast is the responsibility of the urbexer and the creator. Here is another example of you doing the right thing. You've gone down there, you've faced a barrage of potentially negativity and possibly, like some dudes threatening you and whatnot. You've turned it around. You've got a good result out of it. So, yeah, hats off to you again, man. And you deserve the 70,000 and the 12 million by the sounds of it.
The owner of the park and the people that lived nearby, when I had finished with the conversation to all of them after they were pissed off with me, when I went to leave, they were giving me hugs and shaking my hand and loved me. And they were like, we're so sorry that we treated you like we thought you were some disrespectful piece of crap. And it's like, but in reality, the world is that way. That's how people are going to interpret you, because I put a video out and I pretty much, for most people, don't care. That's how they always think of us. And it's not true. I do care.
People love a bit of controversy as well. People always love to jump on a bandwagon. If someone's, chatting shit about someone, then someone else will ask and then be like, oh, what's this about? And then they'll end up, chatting shit about the same thing, and it just keeps on going round and round like that. And then I think people kind of become sort of sheep in a way when things like this happen, and they don't really think for themselves.
See, there is a question I'd like to ask as well, because obviously you've been talking about the responsibility of the YouTuber, but based on what you just said a minute ago, there's also a responsibility that lies with the owner, which I don't think really gets addressed.
More responsibility to the owner. As I said, if the park didn't look messy, the lawns were mowed, and the place was kept proper, we wouldn't drive past and see it. There are very small amounts of places that we go to as an urban explorer that has cut lawns and looks perfect. They have a thing that makes you draw in the attraction. The building looking rough, or the grass is not being cut, trees falling down.
There is more to that, though. To play the devil's advocate for the park owner, that place was particularly famous back in the early 80s. It's got a very distinct landmark with that worm. Anyone that drives down that way knows where that thing is and what that thing was. So it's kind of, I mean, to say if the lawns were mowed and the windows weren't smashed, no one would think of it. I think people would always remember that there was a wildlife park there, and hey, whatever happened to that? Do you want to go and have a look at it? I mean, we know that the abandoned Melbourne crew went there 2.5 years ago. They put out a video, but it didn't really pop by any stretch. I mean, that's another topic for a discussion, but why your one popped 2 years later is, that's the YouTube algorithm.
No one knows why.
Yeah.
Well, just to round things off, I just want to ask, because I know that some people probably don't know about this, but what's the future of Rosie and what's happening to her now?
Well, she was transferred or transported. You can watch on my videos on my YouTube channel. There's videos of where she is now. She was taken to a new park in an area called Devon Meadows, which is just outside of Cranbourne in Victoria. And she is now there at Crystal World, and they're slowly but surely trying to get enough funds up to fix the tank up slowly, and they're getting a lot of help. A guy came in the other day and he's replacing the glass that's smashed in the tank for free as a donation, which is a lot. That's like $20,000 worth of glass. And yeah, just donations are coming in from everywhere. And I think from what I'm hearing, suppliers of chemicals as well all kinds of things like that are giving out free donations for helping out with the shark because of the story behind it.
So that could well be. That's basically down to you. I mean, if you hadn't have shed light, or if the video didn't go viral, then no one would really know to even. Well, for a start, they probably wouldn't have moved it. It would have stayed there. But
yeah, and it would have got destroyed. That's what
subsequently they have moved it, and it's surviving. So in a way, you've kind of done a great thing, really.
This is the shark that keeps on giving. Maybe if you could somehow tie old mate Steven Spielberg into coming down and doing a video with you about the shark, you'd certainly get a second pop from that.
Saturday morning, I'm getting a phone call from the US, and I've been offered a job in a photography filming company in the US. So I'm interested to see how that's going to turn out.
That's brilliant.
That's fantastic.
Wow,
well done.
That is awesome. It's been amazing to hear your sides and for you guys to discuss this situation because it's interesting. So yeah, thank you so much for coming on.
If there's a chance, hopefully in the very near future, that I will be coming over to the UK to do some exploring. So maybe we can meet up and you can take me out and show me some really cool spots if that's good with you.
Absolutely, yeah. And you haven't got to worry about raining spiders either. So yeah.
Yeah, it's a real thing. I heard it somewhere on the internet. It must be
It's
real.
a real thing.
All the drop there.
Thanks for having me on too, fellas. Appreciate the
That's all
the invite to come and give another chat about something that, yeah, it's something that I think is worthwhile discussing, and I think it's got a very valid place here on YouTube to raise these questions.
Yeah, absolutely. And if anyone says to you, you're not allowed to talk about this because you're not an OX, ignore them because it's not true. You have a right to talk about whatever you like.
Yes.
And it's been awesome having you.
I agree.
These guys' channels will be linked down below, as will Lucas's as well. And thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you again next time.